Hello and welcome to Eli Show. I'm your host today, Eli Tanner. And man, what a great half of a week we got last week into the weekend, into what maybe some people say the best sports of this year. I'm your host, Eli Tanner. This is the Eli Show podcast, season 2, episode 2, the 2-2. And man, I said a lot of hot take last time, and a lot of fog was put on. And I'll say I'm going to take some of that stuff. And if you ever watch The Herd with Colin Coward, they say a lot of, um, on Mondays he says where I was right, where I was wrong, and I'll tell you what, I was wrong a lot, a lot. Even what I didn't say on the podcast, and what I did say on the podcast, I was wrong a lot, and a lot of people before and after the wild card, commenting and doing all this. We'll get to all that. First, let's start about the college football. And I said a lot, and I said some stuff about money, and there was an aspect of that. And I was thinking, especially today, but watching the college football playoffs, and you see a dominating Indiana victory, and then you see Miami getting that win in a close one against Old Miss, and you see an ACC team that didn't make the ACC championship, and many wanted Notre Dame. And then you see an Indiana team who hasn't lost the game, who's the number one seed, basically playing a away game because it's at Miami's home stadium. Miami's buying, I heard this from a source, buying tickets for their students so they can go free because it's right down the road from the campus. I mean, it's a little outrageous about how close, and I think they might should change it, but that's not a. But Indiana has dominated. They haven't had really a close game. People said weak schedule, all this. The only team in 2 years of playing were the top four teams to win. The only team who has won their conference championship and made it to the next round. And you have to give a round of applause for Indiana for that. And I'll say this, it they look dominated, smoking Alabama, smoking Oregon, and I think they're going to easily beat Miami. And I think you got to look. The number one reason they're even good is because of coaching, coaching. Before these past seasons, it was all coaching, and people say it's the quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner, Mendoza. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it's their coaching, and it is their coaching. The coaching has made a step above where you can definitely see it, that it's their coaching, and that's what it comes down to for them winning. And I saw this on YouTube, and I saw this, and it was a guy, and he was talking about the SEC. It's honestly two things. One, it's been over 1,000 days since the SEC team has won a national championship, and two, that there's no those dominant Alabama teams, those that 1 year of dominant LSU, because all the talent is spread out across the nation. If you're good, you're not going to wait and sit on the bench. Instead, you will instead you just go to find another team. You're not playing. Oh, I'm going to find money in another team. I'm not getting paid enough. I'll go find another team to win. And it's the market right now. We've talked about money last time. It's the market. There's never going to be a dominant program over and over and over winning a championship. And that's how many of the blue bloods, like Alabama, Georgia, even LSU, and we talk about Clemson, and they don't have that because people are transferring. This whole past few weeks, there's been so many transfers all over college football, and Clemson and South Carolina both very active. I think that South Carolina's gotten 17 transfers. Clemson, they've gotten a few good players. A really good. I think it was a defensive. I don't know. There's been good defensive transfers. There's been a lot of talent being across college football right now, and both going up to big schools, but also going down. Those third string quarterbacks, from the top schools are going down to those FCS schools, and they're going to start dominating. And they're going to make money. They're going to go back up. It's almost like the minor leagues in the MLB, and with it's going. But I'll tell you what, one of the greatest. I don't watch. I said this. I don't watch NFL regular season, but they have some of the best playoffs, and because they're so close. Their talent is so close. You even go look at the Panthers Rams game. One of the best Panthers games I've seen them play because they literally not dominated, but they hold in there. And they made the correct plays to have a close one and winning with under a minute to go. And to be honest, they shouldn't have won the game anyways. They shouldn't have won the game. The Rams had it, and the Rams should have beat them by much more. It shouldn't have came down to that drive for the Rams. And it wasn't the refs. It was just decisions made by both coaching and athletes. And it came down to that last drive, and Panthers could not sum it up. Panthers could not win it, and that came down for every single game. And now, play the sad music. I don't have sad music. Sadly, y'all, Bills Mafia are going to be happy. I'm going to take the loss. Let's get to Eli right, Eli wrong from this week. So let's start off with Eli wrong because there's a lot of that. Bills beat the Jaguars, and it was a close game. It came down to who was the best in the fourth quarter. Not the Jaguars. Who's the best of the whole game? Not the Jaguars. Could they have beaten that team if they played better? Yes. I think depending on how each team played, it would have gone two different ways. Number one thing was Trevor Lawrence, the captain of the team. He made a lot of mistakes. Picks. That last drive, a pick. These easily, you can take these mistakes out, and it's not going to happen. The game won't end like that. They have one of the best field goal kickers in the league, and yet, second reason they lost, they missed the field goal. They missed a field goal from 50 yards, and yeah, that's not a gimme. But when you can make them from 68 yards, you should make that one. And then you have another drive. Before that, coaching said, let's go for it on 4th and 1. You draw up a great play, and Trevor Lawrence just gets tripped up and gets by a few inches. Yeah. That one play, the missed field goal, and missing that 4th down, instead of going with the field goal, cost them the game. And they could have made a lot more plays. They could have made one more tackle, not throwing that interception. There's so many different things you can look at it. And Bills, you guys are right. Now his job's not on the line. Was it ever? That's debatable. Now here's the next step. The Broncos. Will the Bills beat the Broncos? And I'm going to say it's going to be a close one. No. In a close one, though. It's at Broncos. They've lost one or two games. One of them was to the Jaguars. And, yeah, I think the Bills are a good team. They're a wild card winning team. But are they going to make it to the Super Bowl? Probably not. There's a Bills Mafia. I call him Bills Mafia. And he goes to my church tonight. And he said, you guys have to shave your heads. And I said, yeah, I'll shave my head. But you have to shave your eyebrow if they don't make it. If they don't win the Super Bowl. That confident. And I'll tell you another wrong I've got was my basketball team for the middle school. We were playing a team that was 0-4, hasn't won a game yet. And we just got smoked. And it was all us, a lot of mistakes, partly by me, partly by our whole team. We couldn't catch the ball. And these turnovers, and they wanted it more in basketball. It's the key to basketball, wanting the ball, going after the ball, and doing everything you possibly can. And that's how you win a basketball game. And, yeah, it's a little crazy. But it's part of basketball. And I was watching the Tennessee game. If you didn't catch the Tennessee game, they went into double overtime against Texas A&M. Tennessee won at home. It was a close one, back and forth. Last shot didn't make it. It was a little crazy. And all of this, college football, NFL, basketball, all around, it did not come up to refereeing at all. None of these games. When you have close games, you can usually blame it on a pass interference call. Not really. Panthers, not really. Oh, Jags, no, not at all. Maybe one or two calls, but both ways, right? And I really think that you can't blame it on the game, and there's points where you can blame it on the game, but that was not it. And I tell you what, you're gonna see football about to come to a national championship next Monday. It's gonna be a good one, like we said. NFL, a few more weeks, Super Bowl, that's gonna be over. And then you got basketball. And March is gonna be one of the greatest months of the year, like it always is, but I think there's a lot of stuff going in college football. Clemson getting a lot of wins on an 8-game winning streak and knocking on wood right here, but they're looking really good. Haven't lost the ACC game, and they're going to lose the ACC game. Just like every basketball team, there's in men's college basketball, there's not really a team that goes completely undefeated. There might be. Very, very rare. But that's usually not the team that wins it all. Unless it's South Carolina women's, but that's women's. Totally different story. And there's a lot of close games. Again, that's the NIL and transfer portal. Yes, there seems to have more money, but yes, there's also schools that offer spots to people who aren't the greatest, but they see the talent. That's why Indiana's good. They might not have the most money, even though Mark Cuban is signing with. They might not have the most money, but they see talent and they go after the talent. Not cha-ching, the talent. And a lot of things come down to talent. You look at most of the NBA teams, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of young talent. Lakers, not doing so well. But there's like the Pistons, who you don't know anybody on the team. You can look at the roster. Young, good talent right there. There's a lot of the talent that's, first of all, young, not 40s like LeBron James, not any of that, but young talent. Young talent. That's, a little bit of a hot take. Young talent is the new future of all sports. You look at the Olympics, you look at FIFA. Most of the good players, not the greatest of all time, the good players are young. They're active. They're healthy, And if you want to have a good program in any sport, in any age really, you gotta like to run a lot. Almost every sport. You gotta want to play, you gotta want to fight for it. The NFL, there's a lot of talent. That's why so many of the games are close. And I'll tell you what, I was right about the Steelers. I really didn't say it on here, but I talked to friends about it. Steelers were never really good. 30-6 at the end. Don't get that. That's another close game. All the games were close. And Steelers are out. And Texans won 7-6 going into the fourth quarter. What does that tell you? It's a defensive game. It was a defensive game for a while. And then the offense of the Steelers just gave it to them. Not the defense. The defense really didn't give up. It was the offense. Crumbled up like a piece of paper, and they gave up. And you can't have your offense give up. That was the main problem, is giving up on offense. And when you have a guy old, like Aaron Rodgers, that's what happened, and you get a coach fired. Or stepping down, I guess, but forced to fire. It's not a pretty sight for your team, for anything. And great game. And Eagles go down against the 49ers. That was a good game. It came down to the end. Eagles reigning Super Bowl champions. Not looking so good. And now fans are calling for their coach to get fired. And I'm going to say, no. Don't fire a coach that won a Super Bowl last year. I know you got Philadelphia fans like that, and I really don't like Philadelphia fans of really any sport. I mean, I would root for Philly, not really the Phillies, not really the 76ers, and not really the Eagles, because I don't prefer that. Well, it's about to go, and I tell you what, I've been driving on the road. If you ever see me driving, stay way clear. I'm kidding, but a lot's happening and a lot of new growth. Young. Many people say driving. They say that's not possible. You're not that old. I'm like, getting old. Life's going by quickly. Use it responsibly, especially when driving. See you later. I'm your host, Eli Tanner, and this has been The Eli Show.